Welcome to NYNJPA Weather, your weather source for the Northern Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino, and boy, do we have a wet forecast for you. No need to look at models for this storm coming up because it's pretty clear that this storm is moisture loaded with plenty of rain on the way. What we have in front of us is the water vapor satellite picture as of about 8 a.m. And what we currently are seeing is a strong disturbance over the Tennessee River Valley starting to move towards the mid-Atlantic, and eventually this disturbance will curve up towards the St. Lawrence River Valley. What does that mean? Well, it means that the initial primary low that's currently over Lake Erie will move towards Lake Ontario and slowly weaken. Meanwhile, our second low pressure system that is developing over southwestern Virginia will move towards the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area and then curve north and northwest towards Lake Ontario and Lake Erie and, the St. Lawrence River Valley over the next 24 to 30 hours. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to cause all this moisture that is currently oriented from south to north along the east coast to shift southeast to northwest. What that basically means is that you're going to get all this moisture that is currently moving up the east coast to drive right into the mid-Atlantic, and specifically into New Jersey and into eastern Pennsylvania. Because of all this lifting associated with this disturbance and the strong moisture advection coming off the Atlantic and from the Gulf of Mexico at the mid-levels, well, that's going to produce quite a bit of rain. And rain right now is starting to move into much of Pennsylvania and western New Jersey, and will spread out throughout the entire northern Mid-Atlantic through today. And that rain is going to continue to intensify and become heavier each passing hour as the lifting and the dynamics associated with the storm intensifies. I'm expecting anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rain along much of the New Jersey coast and the New York City metropolitan area and the eastern portions of the Philadelphia metropolitan area. However, locations are basically for much of eastern Pennsylvania and northwestern New Jersey looking anywhere between 3 to 4 inches of rain. And the reason why is because a lot of this moisture that is coming right off the Atlantic is going to be lifted by the higher terrain over the Poconos and along generally the Appalachian Mountain Chain. So as a result, we're going to see very heavy rainfall amounts over 3 inches in these locations. And of course, as we move further east towards eastern Connecticut and eastern Long Island, the rainfall amounts will range anywhere from 1 to 2 inches. The reason why is because by the time the storm gets to those locations, it will start to weaken, and so the transport of moisture will not be as impressive. Now, one very key fact to point out here is that within this heavy rainfall, some of these mid-level winds are going to be able to work down towards the surface and produce strong wind gusts. So what we're looking at for impacts with this storm is very heavy rainfall, poor driving conditions from now all the way through tomorrow morning and into tomorrow afternoon for portions of the New York City metropolitan area and points east. Also, strong wind gusts over 40 miles per hour at times, especially in heavy downpours. And of course, and this is the most important threat, flash flooding. What we're talking about here in, let's say, northern New Jersey is you're getting 2 to 3 inches of rain in your river basin, which is bad enough as it is. But then you're also going to have to deal with 2 to 4 inches more of rain upstream that has to work down south through your river plain. So portions of northeastern New Jersey, especially the Ramapo River, Raritan River Basin, even the Delaware River Valley along the eastern Pennsylvania and northwestern New Jersey area and down towards Philadelphia, watch out for flash flooding. This is going to be a significant flash flooding threat. In fact, New Jersey's already called for a state of emergency with all this rain. So use some caution. If you have the ability to get out of your house and move to higher ground, I would strongly suggest you do so if you haven't already. This storm's going to lift northeast, and the rain's going to end tomorrow morning from southwest to northeast. By tomorrow morning's rush hour, the rain will be pretty much over for Philadelphia, much of southern New Jersey. And then for the New York City metropolitan area, the rain will end from southwest to northeast in the afternoon. Most locations by tomorrow evening's rush hour will be ending with the rain and would be generally dry. Watch out for the wind gusts after the storm leaves, much like what we saw with the last storm. Behind this storm, some windy conditions can be expected up until sunset, ranging anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts over 30, possibly reaching 50 miles per hour. So this is clearly going to be a rather dynamic storm. Anything to follow this? Well, let's take a look at the models. This is from the European model guides from the Penn State EWOL. And for this weekend, basically we're looking at high pressure generally in control. A few weak disturbances will pass well to the north of the northern mid-Atlantic, producing perhaps an isolated rain or snow shower on Saturday night into Sunday morning for portions of the Poconos, the Hudson Valley, northern New Jersey. But overall, most locations will remain high and dry with pleasant weather conditions for this time of year. Temperatures generally in the 40s to lower 50s, dry conditions, light winds, not bad of a weekend at all. As we move towards by Tuesday night, we have high pressure basically in control throughout the northern mid-Atlantic with dry conditions. Now there is an area of low pressure that is developing well to the east of the northern mid-Atlantic, and several models are trying to hint at some sort of storm trying to develop. Let me show you 500 millibars to explain why this storm is likely going to remain out to sea and not a major impact for the region. All models for mid next week basically are showing some sort of disturbance sitting off the east coast. Some models have almost next to nothing, and other models have a rather impressive rainstorm, possibly even a little bit of snow in the higher elevations. But they all have one very important feature, and that is a very progressive Pacific pattern and no blocking over the northwestern Atlantic, which means that basically the threat of this storm being able to sit off the east coast and intensify and close off is next to nothing, because you have all these other disturbances following right behind it that's going to kick it out into the Atlantic. Combine that with the fact that our polar vortex is well to the north, that means all of our cold air is trapped up in Canada where it could stay, and that means that the cold source for any type of storm that could develop off the east coast is going to be limited and basically cut off from this storm. So what I expect is that this low pressure system will be very progressive. It probably will produce an increase in clouds on Tuesday, but I think by Wednesday, high pressure will be in full control with clear skies and very warm conditions. I don't expect this to be a big player because, again, the upper level pattern, regardless of what model you look at, just simply does not support any type of major storm off the east coast. And you could base that off of not only what you're seeing in model guidance, but basic teleconnections and the understanding of physics of the stratosphere and tropical influence. So basically what we're looking at going into next week is a rather quiet period of weather with temperatures returning to near to slightly above normal levels and a very light chance, a very small chance, let's say, of any type of significant precipitation. Thank you for visiting NYNJPA Weather, your weather source for the northern mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Have a great day.